Abusuafo dwumadi ye abakosem. Medidi na nachidom hene. History 101 so yedi enkomo efa abakosem ho history. Yedi enkomo efa spirituality ahonhomsem. Ene yedi enkomo efa metaphysical and esoteric knowledge. Obi say occultic knowledge, hidden knowledge. Nimdia yedi esie amansan nyina na enipa kakra bi netekokwa mu esua edi practice eye ona e control ewiase. Ene se wadwan ne ya na se ene nda edikan ya wo hwe yedwumadie ewo abakosem history 101 so a. Ene enkomo a mene wo yedie eye enkomo a efa the Saturn and the Moon matrix. The Saturn and the Moon matrix. Once again, midin na nachidom hene. Na men say ebre no. Migidi se wunim Saturn, the planet Saturn. Ena sebi wunim osrane bosome no ana moon no eye kanea esen wiemu anajo no emayen kanea ehwe ade ese epia. Na we eho enkomo na mini wudi. The word matrix say ye pe na se kire ene ba bia efia. Matrix eye Latin word a ase kire mother. Ana se se woba breedie enye bleeding o breedie ya se wo ani eno ni matrix nti matrix ni ejina homa woman anase womb na eno ho enkomo ena mene wo edie the moon no na moon no ene Saturn moon no represent the womb that is a moon no female ena Saturn male anase wobema na moon no ene Saturn sabiu enye ebo bi keke ena esinsin wiem dabi planet akese a etiase a generate energy na sa planet yimienu no anase sa ade mienu ye sinsin wiem yi na hoode ne anase ne energy a produce eno na air control the matrix no a ye ka ho asem a wati matrix no na yenka ne ehunu se tumi no a ye frɛ no onyankopɔn anase tumi no a ya perceive se eye onyankopɔn ana ene na ebo ade nyina no sa tumi no akwasi broni se eye androgynous anase eye hermaphroditic na kire se eye ade a ekura woba na ese etua bema ane eye ade a etua woba na ese etua bema the esese ye nyina yete ase ne se matrix anase the architecture of this reality say we are say this physical reality no a soul harvesting relay station fending off energetic residue of Earth's inhabitant. Now winim Openi Gurdjieff, the Armenian philosopher Gurdjieff no waka simbi amaminko no was say the moon is a gigantic electromagnetic parasitic body that feeds on energetic life. Now winim according to Openi Gurdjieff the fourth way teachings no wochiremu a moon no regulate ena menstruation and openi no ekasa wontwa antrophy say ye di kan hunu say menstruation eye bosome anase wabu nsa no na da no comes from the moon the moon cycle anyone ananom study how the moon no function the moon ye adwuma no nti won ananom from the ancient no they were not stupid said their religion ama wa adwuna ye wo say now nanano agimi no omosoma bosom no they had a deeper knowledge and deeper understanding of how reality works otiase enti according to the fourth way teachings no wakiremu a moon no regulate sleep menstruation and your dream state otiase your dream state ena enoa so moon no ena a recycle uso no otiase if we say enipa bebre enim say after this physical body no or astral body our etheric body, our a lot of different bodies in different dimensions. And after we leave this physical space, we do in the astral na wakwakoye ohoho na niso aye no totototo enti obi atimi ka bibia kire no go here no odi akiri go here no odi akiri na ye de ade kakra ye create illusion kakra bi esi wani so say come to the light ho na ye recycle wo soul no na ya refreshing your memory na ye de waba back so you walk towards the moon what you say that there be make sure say when you die which you will die I don't know when but because a part of the cycle a birth and death what you say nti ubewu no uwu a and they consciously don't walk towards the light walk towards the darkness because darkness is the true face of light what you say isumu na ofiri baye oye han wo ne kanea no nti you don't need to walk towards the light is there because in this reality no ubi through darkness what you say nti out of the fear of darkness no you will walk towards the light and then you'll be captured by the moon and recycled. Your soul will be recycled back onto earth. What you say? Now, moon no recycle soul. What you say? Now, capture our astral body no at the death. Now, returning back into reincarnation. That is what happened. Into the word matrix, no. The word matrix, no, the word matrix, no, if you Latin for Casemua, what you say, Latin for Casemua, chere mater, and I say mother, and I say womb, what you say, na sa root word, no, ena they connected to the matrix because out of the womb, no, ena enam so the portal, no, womb, no, and on enam so ema would be pay this reality, what you say, and intina or more friend matrix, no, now because responsive. Na energetic, na alive ninti no. Responded to your thinking, your thoughts, and your behavior. And then nam so create your reality. And into the Christopher Bible, they say, as a man thinketh, so is his life. Say the nipa dwene no. Sana na bra boy de. It's here good. Now, yen na yenim say in every month, no, you would have the 28.3 days, no, which I say, which represent the lunar month na say dada and I say bosome in a menstrual calendar. Until unim say man wo menstrual calendar. No, they don't calculate the menstrual calendar no based on 30-day cycle. And a 31-day cycle. They calculate it based on 28.3 days cycle. Which I say na your friend bosome and I say dada and I say wabu sano and it's your friend sano. Now, the lunar cycle no. No na symbolic to death and rebirth what you say na no na sync your biological clock no with the rhythm of the illusion enti we sa nimdie we no only the true cup of Hermes no what you say and only the silver chalice in which the divine spark is caught and diluted na yehwa de Saturn yedi moon ne ho nkomo yehwe Saturn so anase Satan also on the other hand no ono ne bema no what they say ono ne the architect no ono na the father of form ono na in the Greek mythology no ono na omo friend Kronos no Kronos no what you say Saturn is the god of time and I said the father of time sabi wono ena the father of castration and limitation. Enti na de bia rema oti ase Saturn on deny or withhold what you deserve until you have become disciplined, responsible, and oti ase and san we hunu say one maturity. You have to show boundaries. Say hunu boundaries oti ase and san we hunu say abrantie say the maturity and ababa we say wa mature ye the sika na say the nimdie bi na say the position bi hye ne nsa obetimi ahweso yi ho ansa na Satan I decide na ayede e de ahye won sa enti Satan no ono no ye the seed oti ase seed no na ebe enter into the womb enti Satan no na ye be ma no na ye the seed of the matrix oti ase enti through the Saturn any the moon no enhia mu no na seed no germinate anase efifi ema yebenya you and I and whoever it is in this reality. What you say? Now what said the seed of the matrix no and a project the patterns any code into the moon no, now are reflected into the womb. Now no I create what we call the matrix and I said the system no affected this reality no. Now system we no because a low vibrational energy no enti na a feeding of low vibrational energies enti a feeding of fear and enti na system we no everything na generate bia na fear based. What I say? Fear based and a war and yes commercy and yes yare biaba and yes yato ade mu and o chena we boa den we boa kosoro and we otiase. Everything is based on fear because that is what these entities feed on. Enti yes we be hell we so won go heaven. What you say? And enti na sa enema ne eyede ekoso. Now in astrology obi be mo ati ase Saturn is referred as the gatekeeper and I say wono na sebiu what gate na no and I say the gate because the role no Saturn play in the transition of limitation. Said ye inipa ndi na make sure say Saturn undeny rather or limited hunu said there be sebiu na nechidom hene wani so ye krakra na wuni abotre no a woye yi na ye ma osika kese a ahwe yi biku what you say ahwe yi a odiba akoto Ferrari eti aso hu akwa accident ewu ebreko a won hyehyɛ wo ne ebreko adwuma asese oba ayese oba abaye no wuntimi nyaye enti sa na ti a we are limiting you until say ube hunu said ube control no aye responsible what you say ube take responsible of your actions and inactions wejai blame game no we blame nkrofo we na ma me say no we hunu say bibia ebisi bia no wo na wo ye that is what Saturn also represent what you say enti Saturn no any moon matrix no that is what it is now yenhwe yenomu asukoye na yenhuna say ye kase Saturn gatekeeper say kase Saturn gatekeeper the person ye kire ne say Saturn na act as a threshold say na make kan wono na why barrier kire say okay ubinya duru ha say de wo bo obrafa no anamon a wututu no fe edane kwan so enti no sabio yemfa de uhia sesi a enye dey emfa emma enti sa na otie enti won no wo kire say at this point in life no where do phase 1 say no betimi a graduate into phase 2 oti ase enye wa na wo de opio because wo align wo ho with the discipline Saturn wo ye discipline enti wo hwe say wo be discipline in life and na sa na ema na wo ye de wo hwehwe no wagie mu ama anything yes Saturn gatekeeper no now yes Saturn ehwe boundaries so what you say or share boundaries so what you say or represent limitations na ye encounter in life no and both internally and externally what mean who say you are limited in a certain way or no na ehwe sa na ema so what you say and now wono anso na hwe the structures now you have to build structures na wodi besisi enema wodi besisi akwa mu ansa na watimi and navigate through limitations so because ebia you are limited in reading you are limited in this otiase but o de niema bia sisi akwan mu ehunu say okay we na me ya me so metimi de ate niema bia ase otiase ono anso na hwe sa niema ne so nti whilst oye ono ehwe limitations ne so no ono anso ehwe ekwan a wo befa so enema wo de besisi akwan mu e de maneuver through the internal and external limitations no a Saturn govern. Then Saturn share discipline and responsibility so what you say Saturn share discipline and responsibility so because Saturn ehia se ubia no ebeye adwumadene hard work what you say Saturn pese ubetena se ede wonsa hye wo dem fam na wa expect se mana ento infiri soro emegu wanum enti Saturn expect se obi abeye den ebeye discipline no obi aye adwumadene no obi enya self discipline what you say Saturn hwehwe se obi abe take responsibility. Until you have to be responsible of your actions and inactions. Now we just blame games. And blame Satan and person will be blame politicians because politicians no one fair to any base you so one kasa na woko san line. Whether no can try no or can no, it is up to you to also develop your intuition. Now when say will be can try me and also will be can crash them what you say. You can't say nipa na da be da me. Inti there be how the obi beba bedada usa. What do I say? So that is what Saturn takes care of. Discipline and responsibility. Now, Saturn share your life actions. So what do I say? Your life lessons. Sorry, your life lessons. Addition ye be suyan was so. Now, what say through Saturn influence no? Ema ye suya valuable lessons. Addition bebre any yenya wo wiasim hase. What you say? So when you be caught na ya woni wan nyi ni yie. So wo maame ne wo papa wo a o man ti wo mani anhwe wo yie. Se namfo bi bu kwasea. Se wo ba bi ti wakoma. Ni nyina na ya adesua de ma wo. What you say ni nyina ya adesua de ma wo. Se no wahunu se de ya akomate etie. Se wahunu se de maame ne papa ewo ba na wo ma anhwe akwada no a se de na bra boye. Enti wanya adesua Usu betimi a kire nkrofo se usu wahunu se wo o ma eni ukwan se wotutu o majeje mu ejai wo mo sa wo ti ase enti Saturn ehwe life lessons so wo ti ase eniema ye faso eku mo ti ase kwan ye faso overcome sa obstacles no ti ase eniema esi akwan wa brabom ene kwan ye be faso efirifiri atra ni nyina no Saturn, and I said the planet Saturn, and I Satan, and I say, Unyankopon kwame, Unyankopon kwame, and I oshe sa ni emani nyina so. And inti na ye nuanum Jew for no, memene da no mo so som mo Nyankopon no, mo di cube no, ebo omo maso, the tesseract na ebo omo maso because what say the Saturn cube, and inti na in Islam, ube say Kaaba no. A tuntum a black cube ni nyina the Saturn cube because omu nyina no ancient knowledge omu nyina gitum say Saturn the energy no na control we ase and intina in the Bible no Jesus Christ call Satan ho no Satan ka kire ne say obre wo ho ase de mamia me di we ase tumi nyina be hye wonsa na Jesus Christ ka kire ne say enye abodo ne yinkwa ne nipa be di oti ase na that is what it means a symbolism. This is spiritual knowledge. This is history 101 with Nanechi Domhene. Now, Saturn in charge of career ambition. Career ambition. Otiase. Enti wube wunu say Saturn appear wo chart mu kura wo birth chart mu a reveal adwuma a wotiase nipa obetimi aye ambitions wotiase your ability to achieve long-term goals. Ene sa na ema ni nyina no obi say Saturn ebeda ni nyina ho adi de akyerew enti Saturn eno no na wonim say said ya na wo muka se Nyankopon obesan ababiem ana say Nyankopon obesan ababiem I and my father are one enti say Jesus Christ no ono ane Saturn no o ti ase enti say ye ka say Jesus besan ababiem ana say Saturn ebesan ababiem a won say ni nyina no e boil down to the oil any the activities are your biological clock activities that happen in the nipa abrabom any Saturn necrani movement no enti wube unu say every 21.5 days biano years biano 29.5 years biano Saturn dane ho adi in your chart baby ana epiemu wo no tiase eno na your friend Saturn return no enti a major transition na etai okay when Saturn dane ho adi biem in every 29.5 years otiase enti Saturn represent anase esan eda ne ho adi ewo position no a na egina no ebra wo birth chart dim ne ye wo no wote ase enti me fancy ye wo ne no na Saturn ewo in your birth chart or house number 3 mu na Saturn aba be pie mu a in 29.5 years time no ubehunu say Saturn ebesa aba be appear in the same way in the same sign na ebe appear wo no tiase na sa period we no a period bi a day ending and the beginning of new cycle edi be nipa brabom enti ubehunu say obi wo ho a na wadi hia na say wakwa brabo ahokyire bi mu a ubehunu around that time no na enema sesama no ubehunu obi wo a no wo peba no abresa no ayi wotiase obi wo a no wo padwuma no abresa ubehunu around that time no ubenya ni breakthrough and na say ubenya saa de because that time no you face growth wotiase and re-evaluation wotiase and the Saturn said the yehunu no associated with law, associated with structure. Enti na obi say in law no obi say lawyers no wo mo hye black. Oti ase lawyers no hye black, judges ni nyina hye black. Oti ase Saturn no Saturn hye education. Oti ase hye structure, hye death, hye limitation, hye karma. Any sa enema ni nyina enti na matriculation any graduation uche ni nyina no square cube no tiase books cube utiase ni nyina na Saturn, the Saturn cube square or rectangle utiase ni nyina Saturn because Saturn is in charge of structures any sa enema ni nyina na wonim say in alchemy no Saturn lead utiase lead na lead no lead ye nyina ye nim say the densest dade a emupi na emudoye emupi the densest metal enti the weight of matter the weight of matter and enti Saturn no na nim say Saturn na mpempi na ya na ye friend the grand architect of the universe and enti na na wo mo se Freemason fo no wo mo som bronsam no which I say wo mo som bronsam wo som Satan no because Saturn na wo mo operate on which I say that is why they control the world. Which I say they control the world, they tell you what happens and it happens because they understand say the collective ne bedwene na wo mo feeling no it created their reality for them. What I say enti wobehunu say Saturn is lead, the densest metal. Now wonim say Saturn is also the prima materia. What you say? Now the prima materia no actually say the starting point of for transmutation. The starting point for transmutation. And the prima materia the first matter. And the first matter our concept no appear in alchemy any philosophy. What you say? Good. Say ye di nkomo na ye twa ye nkomo ne so a won say sa nkomo nu a ye die say ne nkomo ya ye die in alchemy no eno na ye friend the philosopher's stone, and I say the magnus opus. What you say anim die we na ya che on history 101 abakosem dwumadi so no eno na in alchemic knowledge no in in alchemy no your friend the magnus opus no now wonim say in hermetic symbolism no the moon and Saturn no they are not enemies. What you say sabi omo ye adofo, they are lovers omo performing a cosmic sex. What you say rituals across all dimension and veil. Na Saturn no sabi one wo pepie one wo ejaculated time. What you say one wo ejaculated time form any pattern. What you say na moon nso achi na moon nso de ahye ne yam anyinsen. What you say and enti they are lover omo ye adofo. What you say omo ye adofo enti that is what it means. That is what they create the illusion and I say the matrix now yɛde ɛkɔ the cosmic ouroboristic loop no na kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ sex, birth, death and rebirth. Sex, birth, death and rebirth. Saa eniyema we ɛna ɛkɔ anwan create in the ancient Egyptian Ouroboros symbol no. Go say Ouroboros no a Greek and a Greek for ena womo ebe translated the ancient Egyptian language into the Greek language. Into the Ouroboros no in the ancient Egyptian language no na ancient Egyptians no efre no Set Emra no in the ancient Egyptian language aseɛ kyerɛ sɛ tail in the mouth. Enti sɛ wɔwɔ no apoa ne toa ɛde aba bɛhyɛ n'anum na kyerɛ sɛ recycle wote ase anaasɛ rebirth. Ouroboros no in the Greek language also means tail devouring. Sɛ wo ankasa wo wi tail wote ase na akreti in the Ouroboros anaasɛ circle no nti wote ase birth, sex, birth, death and rebirth. Wote ase and it created this cycle and answer this illusion. And inti na sɛ wopɛ sɛ wo escape this matrix na wo na wo nkom mabie mu a you have to do the work a wogi to mu sɛ wobɛba whether in reincarnation or in incarnation a wode be pie mu ase no. Sɛ woyɛ saa nneɛma no wie a na wuwu a in the astral no you take care of the astral body and decide say I'm not walking towards the light. What you say may cut towards the darkness. So out of the darkness now you re-emerge into your tribe where you really came from. What you say? And indeed this is the Saturn and the Moon matrix. Now we and your friend is samsara no. What you say? When your friend is samsara no. Samsara no a Sanskrit. What you say? A Sanskrit naturally say the Egyptian and I say Indians na say Hindu for no kasa aseɛ kyerɛ sɛ wandering through na kyerɛ sɛ wone nam mu na we no ɛna egyina hɔ ma the cycle of reincarnation. Wote ase ane we yɛ wɔ actions and the consequences of all time past, present and the future. Now we ɛna yɛfrɛ no the cup of Hermes no, the beginning guide for sexual alchemy. We need the Jacob's ladder edition ɛna na n'ekyidɔm hene mede abrɛw ɛwɔ history 101 so. Mame enkan bibi kakra from Openi Gugiev. If you say mabo Gugiev edin kakra. Enti mame enkan bibi kakra from Gugiev a. Gugiev say ne actually or say everything living on the earth, people, animals, plant is food for the moon. The moon is a huge living being feeding upon all that lives and grows on earth. In search of the miraculous, he suggested that the moon absorbs psychic or energetic emanation, particularly from unconscious human actions, emotions like fear and hatred, and the death of a living being. This process is part of a cosmic reciprocal maintenance, where organic life acts as a transmitter of energy to the moon, which is depicted as the growing end of the ray of creation, destined to become a planet like Earth someday. And Gurdjieff emphasizes say humanity's mechanical unconscious state fuel this process, and through conscious effort that is self-remembering can individuals escape being eaten by the moon. And through consciousness, through gaining your consciousness, and I will be to me I escape this moon and Saturn matrix. And inti na yeka consciousness ho asem no. Enya ade hu bia a self-realization and self-actualization. Medidi na nechidom hene dwumadi e abakosem a history 101 and e di enkomo afa the moon Saturn matrix no. Medi will see her like, subscribe and share for more history, esoteric and spiritual knowledge. Medi will see her makramo. Bye bye.